Hello everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from the campus of Braintree High School in Braintree, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's varsity high school baseball contest between the hosting Braintree High Womps and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Now, unfortunately, the Wi-Fi connection does not seem to be strong out here in Braintree today, and unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do about that. I have to go with my Wi-Fi hotspot or nothing else. 1 second, folks. But, sorry about that. But as I was saying, Wi-Fi not strong out here today. Could be a number of things. You know, Braintree's been a tough spot for Wi-Fi in the past. I've had my ups and downs out in this area. Sometimes, I guess, I don't know. It could be the sun, could be the wind. It could just be Braintree. Could be any number of things. But the point is, Wi-Fi's not looking good today. But I am recording this, so if this ends up just being a completely god-awful stream in terms of the connectivity, then I will upload a full version later on tonight. But in the meantime, we do have a game to play. Brookline hoping to bounce back after a tough 6-2 loss on the road against Weymouth on Wednesday. That, of course, coming after a big 7-5 win over Framingham on Monday. As of right now, Brookline 2-2 overall on the season. These two teams, Brookline and Braintree, faced off last year in a later season game in the middle of May. Brookline ultimately came up short, losing 5-1. So Brookline will be hoping for a better outing here. And so with that in mind, let's take a look at the lineups for the two teams coming in today. First, for the hosting Braintree High Womps. Leading off for Braintree, first off, the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. Batting second, the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. Batting third, the first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 24, Max DeRoche. Not batting for Braintree, but starting on the mound for the Womps today, the pitcher, number 22, Anthony Carey. So that is the starting lineup for the hosting Braintree High Womps. And now, as Brookline continues their warm-ups in the field, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Leading off for Brookline today, the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. Batting second, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Batting third, the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Batting fifth and starting on the hill for Brookline today, number 17, Charlie Engelman. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 2, Owen Hoffman. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. Not batting, but just playing the field for Brookline today, the catcher, number 14, Avery Melton. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor. So that is the lineup for Brookline today. And remember, if you are braving the bad Wi-Fi on this live stream, and you got anything you'd like to say, you want to correct me on any, the pronunciation of any names, you know, you want to just simply say go Warriors or go Womps, or you want to shout out your favorite player or anything like that, feel free to participate in the live chat. I can see our first note in the live chat already from Barbara Jo Metzger. Hello, Jesse. We'll deal with the Wi-Fi and watch it again tonight if need be. Go Warriors? ? And I appreciate your understanding, Barbara. I mean, it's just, you know, sometimes the Wi-Fi is just, you know, technology can be finicky, and sometimes there's just not much you can do about it. You know, maybe if I had the time to build a couple extra cell towers in the area or something, maybe that'd fix it. But I don't think I got the time or the materials or the anything resembling the expertise for that. So we're stuck with what we've got. And remember, folks, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. It is going to be spring break next week, but Brookline has a pair of morning games next week on Monday at 11 a.m. against Boston Latin School, and then on Wednesday also at 11 a.m. against Sharon High School. I'll have coverage of both those games, so be sure to stay tuned for those. Subscribing to the channel can help. But for now, as the Warriors wrap up their infield warm-ups, we will soon be getting this game underway. It is Brookline against Braintree. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Braintree High School, and you are watching Brookline High Baseball.
Oh my gosh, did he catch that? Ryan Kravitz with the acrobatics out in center.
Swing and a miss! Dealchin Erickson gets out of the jam!
He makes contact. This is into the outfield. Oh, it was a late takeoff, but it skipped past the center fielder. Doctoroff rounding third. Here he comes. Brookline wins!
Brookline still wrapping up their warm-ups. They've pulled the outfielders in. They're finished out there. So we just await the completion of infield warm-ups. And then Braintree will come out and take the field for the top of the first inning. Few interesting notes about the Brookline lineup today. First off, returning to the batting order is number 3, Ryan Kravitz. He's just been playing the field for the other 2 games this week. But now back in the batting order in the number 3 spot. So he'll be hoping to contribute something at the plate today. Also of note, Charlie Engelman, who hit third in the order against Weymouth in what was, I believe, his first start of the season. He played third base that day. It was his first start after not playing in the season opener against Newton South, and coming off the bench as a relief pitcher in that marathon 11-inning win over Wellesley that took 2 days to complete. Engelman now getting his second consecutive start in the batting order and also his first start on the mound of this season. And he's now batting fifth after batting third in the order in the game at Weymouth and driving in one of Brookline's 2 runs with an RBI single in the first inning. So we'll see if he has more big swings in him for this game. Also interesting to note, Ben Doctoroff, who has always played either catcher or second base for the team, is the designated hitter this time. Rare that you see a designated hitter batting ninth in the order, but Doctoroff is coming off a game where he recorded just the second extra base hit that the Brookline team has had so far this season, as he legged out one of the strangest doubles you'll ever see against Weymouth. I mean, he hit a good ball out to left. The problem was it was out to left, so the runner at second couldn't, or the runner coming from first to second couldn't further advance to third because the ball was in left field. But Doctoroff was running and gunning out to second anyhow, and so he ended up getting caught between the bags because his teammate was already at second. But then some savvy base running from the 2 Brookline base runners, Doctoroff and Avery Melton, as Melton saw Doctoroff caught up between the bags and took off for third, which not only allowed him to take third while the fielders were distracted trying to get Doctoroff on the rundown, but it also opened up second base for Doctoroff, and he managed to beat the throw to second, and so technically that went in the scorebook as a double. Meanwhile, Avery Melton is just playing the field today. As Melton has, I believe, batted somewhere in the order in each of Brookline's games so far, but today taking his turn just playing the field, as Brookline, rotating around their lineup, trying to figure out what works best for them in these early parts of the season. Some fun notes in the live chat from Barbara Jo Metzger. Didn't mean the question mark, meant an exclamation point. Oh no. Did I just have a I'm Ron Burgundy moment here on this live stream? I think I did. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Thank you for that, Barbara Jo. You've given me a nice chuckle here before we start this game. So looking at the lineup for Braintree, they are returning a few players from last year's game against Brookline. Among them, Tim Carney, Charlie DiMartino, Jack Fitzgerald, Cam Grieve, and I think those are the only returners that played in last year's game against Brookline. Of course, Jack Fitzgerald had the biggest highlight of the day with a solo home run that kind of broke things open in the bottom of the 4th inning in what was a pretty close game up to that point. It was tied 1-1 as Brookline's Nico Hart had put together a strong outing in what would turn out to be his only start of the season. Of course, Hart getting a lot more pitching opportunities so far this year, and he's been putting up strong numbers. But that game against Braintree kind of showed his initial potential. But now Braintree warming up in the field. Sorry, messing around with the graphics on here. Not in a way you guys can see, but like messing around with them on my own personal display on my computer screen. Warming up on the mound for Braintree, their starting pitcher Anthony Carey, one of a number of players who did not play against Brookline last year, but he's going to get the start on the mound. Two up for Brookline, it's going to be Siegel, Sawada, and Kravitz. I mentioned a few notes about the Brookline batting order. Another interesting thing of note is that Sawada and Siegel have usually hit 1 and 2 in the order, but it's been Sawada at 1 and Siegel at 2 for much of the season so far. Now a slight switch, moving Siegel to the leadoff spot and Sawada to second. You wonder if maybe the strategy is, Siegel probably the best on-base guy for Brookline so far, and he also has the team lead in stolen bases. So maybe you rely on him getting on the bags first, and then Sawada, who doesn't have quite as much pop in his bat as Siegel, but has a lot of speed and plate patience. You know, the kind of guy that might be good for laying down a sacrifice bunt and trying to leg it out. Who knows? I'm definitely not smart enough to be a baseball coach. That's why I'm up here commentating. But we are ready to get this one underway here in the top of the first inning. Leading off for Brookline, the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. As you can see, Siegel's stats for the season so far, 4 for 13 at the plate with a walk, 4 hit by pitches, 3 steals, 2 runs scored, and 4 RBI. Siegel actually leads the team in RBI so far this season, but they've got him batting leadoff. You know, just the quirkiness of high school baseball. First pitch misses. That'll be ball 1. And he slices this one. This one is going to stay playable. Fitzgerald tracking it, under it, and he's got the catch for out number 1. So a pop-out starts us off here on the top of the first. Now coming to the plate for Brookline, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch misses, ball 1. Sawada so far this season, 3 for 12, 5 walks, 3 steals, 4 runs scored. And that one catches the inside corner for strike 1. This one skips in the dirt for ball 2. And that one's going to come in high for ball 3. That one's in there for strike 2. We've got a full count here to Sawada. 1 down, base is empty here in the top of the first. Inside, ball 4. The plate patience of Keenan Sawada. Last time against Braintree, Sawada was 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored, responsible for Brookline's only score that day. Now he draws free pass here. Let's see if history can repeat. As up to the plate comes the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. Kravitz searching for his first hit of the year here. He's 0 for 7 with 1 walk, and this is his first time at the plate this week. And he takes strike 1. I mentioned 3 stolen bases so far this season for Sawada on the bags. Braintree gonna have to keep an eye on him. Sawada taking off, and Kravitz fouls it off. And that'll be strike 2, and Sawada will have to retreat back to first. And gets a piece of it and stays alive at 0-2. Kravitz was a pinch hitter against Braintree last year and just finished the day 0 for 1. Now here's a starter hoping to help things here. Is this one low and away for ball 1? Good snag by Cam Grieve behind the plate to prevent that from turning into a wild pitch. 1-2, the count to Kravitz. And fouls that one off. And still Kravitz stays alive. And an attempted pickoff is not going to get Sawada. And reaches low, hits a grounder, tagged by Fitzgerald at first, but Sawada will advance to second. So Kravitz is able to advance the runner at least with the ground out to first. Sawada now in scoring position, and up comes the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Carey sets, checks on Sawada. First pitch comes in low, ball 1. Jernigan so far this season 4 for 14 with a team leading 2 doubles, a walk, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBI. And he gets a swing there, but it's going to go foul. And that'll be strike 1. Last year against Braintree, Jernigan finished the day 1 for 3 with an RBI, although the RBI actually came on an RBI ground out as he drove in Sawada for Brookline's only run of the day. And he's hoping to drive in Sawada here. Sawada just takes off. Oh, but they caught him, and that's a balk. He tricked him into a balk. Keenan Sawada with the quick jump forces Carey to balk as he just completely flustered him there. Sawada now at third. And Jernigan fouls this one off, strike 2. And we've got a timeout called. So for those of you who might be confused about what happened with Sawada, he started to take off for a steal, and Carey noticed and turned around to try and catch him, but he had already started the process of his windup, and you can't turn around and try and pick off a runner when you've already started the process of your windup, because that's a balk. And so Sawada got a free pass to third as Jernigan fouls this one off to stay alive. It's a weird rule, and if you ask any baseball fan to try and perfectly explain it to you, most of them are going to have a tough time because it's one of the tougher rules to exactly explain. But it is the rule, and that's why Sawada is at third. As this one skips in the dirt, Grieve managed to block it, almost couldn't chase down the ball because Jernigan, trying to get out of the batter's box, accidentally got in his way. But either way, Sawada did not take off. Would have been very interesting if Sawada had taken off and scored on that play, given that Jernigan, intentionally or not, inhibited the catcher's pursuit of the ball. And Jernigan fouls off another one. We're seeing a lot of foul balls from Brookline here in the top of the first. Kravitz had a number of them. Now Jernigan's had a number of them. You know, Brookline's got the bat speed to put bat on ball so far against Carey's pitches, but they're not getting the right contact on it. 2-2 still the count to Jernigan. Sawada at third, 2 down here in the top of the first. And swung on and missed. Fooled him with the dropping curve there. Jernigan goes down on strikes, and we end the top of the first. Brookline gets a runner to third, but cannot bring him home. And after our first half inning, the score is still tied at 0-0. So now taking to the mound and warming up for Brookline is disregard the number 22 on the graphic. This is number 17, Charlie Engelman. He wears number 22 for home games and number 17 for road games. It's just that we've only ever seen him in road games so far, as the 2 games he has not appeared in so far are the team's 2 home games, the one against Newton South and the one against Framingham. All 3 road games he has appeared in. So far, his pitching stats, he's made 1 relief appearance, that clutch relief outing against Wellesley last week. 4 shutout innings and 3 strikeouts to secure the win. And now he's looking to follow that up with another strong performance here today. Interestingly enough, Engelman did actually appear on the mound as a reliever against Braintree last year, but it was a very tough outing for Engelman. Didn't get an out, gave up 3 walks, gave up 1 unearned run, and I think he allowed some inherited runners to score. It was a very frustrating outing for Engelman. It was kind of just the culmination of a very frustrating season for him, where he had a lot of very tough outings with just some really bad blow-up innings. And so this outing today could be a nice chance to further the bounce back that he's already been having with that strong outing against Braintree. This could be, you know, I don't want to say redemption chance because, you know, like these are high school kids. You know, it's not like they committed a sin when they have a bad game, but this could be a very nice, you know, very cathartic kind of bounce back game for Engelman potentially. First pitch swung on and missed for strike one. At the plate for Braintree is the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. And this one's a chopper to third, fielded by Kessler. Kessler, long throw. They did not get him in time. That was a very close call. I will admit I thought they got him, but it's not my call. It's the official's call. And so DiMartino legs out an infield single. Now up to the plate, the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. He shows bunt, pops up a bunt, and it's going to bounce foul for strike one. That pitch comes in low for ball one. One and one the count to Lane. DiMartino at first. That one's going to come in low and inside for ball two. And that one's going to miss outside for ball three. So a 3-1 count now to Lane. DiMartino takes off. Lane pops it up. DiMartino's got to backtrack. And it's dropped! It's dropped! Picked up by Hoffman, thrown to second, and they get what I guess you score as a 6-4 fielder's choice. So Brookline, in the end, does get about the expected amount of outs from a hit like that. And I mean, I don't think you score that in error because they still got the out. Very strange. This first pitch is going to be inside for ball one. At the plate now with one out and a runner on first, the first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. This one going to miss outside, ball two. Fitzgerald, an intimidating presence for Brookline at the plate. Last year against Brookline, he finished 2 for 3 with a home run and an attempted pickoff. Checks on Lane over at first. So we know that Fitzgerald can launch this ball if he gets his bat on it just right. And he hits a liner there. That's going to be through the gap into left for a clean single. So now up the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. First pitch, and he launches it out to right. It's being tracked, and a sliding catch by Hart. Runner does tag and advance to third. Oh, they're going to check at second. just to make sure he tagged up properly. That's good procedure there. But he did tag up properly, and so Lane does move to third, but Brookline does get the second out of the inning. That was almost disastrous. You could tell that was a bit of a tough track for Hart out and right. I mean, out in right field, the sun's right in his face. The wind's kind of blowing a little bit. It was not an easy play, but he managed to correct his positioning and make the snag for out number 2. Now coming to the plate with 2 down and runners on the corners, the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. First pitch is going to come in low for ball 1. Grieve, along with Fitzgerald and DiMartino, among the players who played in last year's game. Grieve finished that game 0 for 2 with a walk and was caught stealing. Takes strike 1 there. Fitzgerald stands at first, Lane at third. Big opportunity for a potential double steal as Fitzgerald takes a big lead off first. And Engelman caught him between the bags. Jernigan checking too much on the runner, and he just lets him go. So Engelman with a nice pickoff move, but because of the runner at third, Jernigan was hesitant to throw down to second to try and catch Fitzgerald. They didn't want to run scoring while they were handling the rundown, but as a result, Fitzgerald got to take second basically for free. Swing and a miss there from Grieve for strike 2. And that one's fouled off the face mask. Grieve stays alive at 1 and 2. Chases it low, strike 3, and Melton applies the tag after juggling the catch for a brief second. That will be an inning-ending strikeout for Engelman. And the Brookline pitcher escapes the first inning with no score, gets out of the jam. So both teams threaten but do not score in the first inning. We are scoreless at the end of 1. In the live chat from Adam Polgreen, looking and sounding great. Thanks, Jesse. Watching from the airport in Charlotte. So great to have these broadcasts when I can't make the games. Go Warriors. Thank you so much for tuning in, Adam. Great to see you in the live chat as always, and I'm glad it's looking and sounding good for you. I know we've been dealing with some Wi-Fi issues here, so if people are still able to see this, you know, that makes my job a heck of a lot easier. Anthony Carey returns to the hill for Braintree. He will face Brookline's 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Engelman, Kessler, and Hart. And there's the throw down to second. We are ready to get this second inning underway. Leading off for Brookline, the pitcher, number 17, Charlie Engelman. Again, don't mind the 22 on the graphic at the bottom of the screen. That's his home jersey number. 17 is his away jersey number. I'll probably fix that in the graphics at some later point. First pitch from Carey, and good contact from Engelman, sailing out to center, but the center fielder tracks it. A good crack of the bat from Engelman. You know, that's the kind of out that makes you excited for the next time this kid comes up to the plate. Even if the feeling about the current at bat is disappointment after that flyout. Now at the plate for Brookline and taking ball 1, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. And he takes strike 1 on that one. Kessler having a very productive year so far. I think he's already surpassed his totals from last season in just about every hitting statistical category. As that one skips in the dirt for ball 2. 5 for 12 with a walk, 2 hit by pitches, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBI. And makes good contact here. That's over the second baseman and into center. Count that as the 6th hit of the year for Nate Kessler. Now coming up to the plate, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Hart got his first hit of the year on Wednesday at Weymouth, got an RBI single. Now he's hoping to do some more damage here as he takes ball 1. And this one's going to be fouled off for strike 1. Kessler on first with 1 out here in the top of the second. Kessler does not have any stolen bases. So far this season, he's been caught stealing once. This one's going to come in high and outside for ball 2. And again, Grieve snagging these pitches well early in this one. Not giving Brookline any free bases on any passed balls. This one in the dirt, and again, well blocked by Grieve, but that will be ball 3. And that one's going to come in high for ball 4. That is Hart's 4th walk of the year. And runners now at first and second. Now up to the plate, the shortstop, number 2, Owen Hoffman. Hoffman, a batter also looking for his first hit of the year. He is 0 for 7 with a run scored so far as he takes ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Swung on and missed there, strike 2. Good contact from Hoffman here into right. Right fielder's not going to get it, and it skipped past him. He was trying to dive for it, and he couldn't. In comes Kessler. Brookline on the board first off an RBI double from Owen Hoffman. How about that for a first hit of the season? The right fielder, like I said, I think he was trying to set up to dive for it, but he might have lost the ball in the sun or something. Either way, count that an RBI double for Owen Hoffman. Now at the plate, the designated hitter, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. First pitch is going to come in high for ball 1. Doctoroff, as you can see so far this season, 2 for 6 with a double, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored. Now up with runners at second and third. And he fouls this one off for strike 1. This is one of those situations where you're happy with almost any ball in play. You know, a grounder that leads to a fielder's choice at home, no. A pop out in the infield, no. You know, a line out to the outfield that makes it so the runners can't advance, no. But that's a grounder, diving snag over at second, lost track of the ball, flips it to first, and it's knocked out of the glove, and another runner is going to take off. 2 runs come in as the umpires are discussing here, trying to figure out how to score that. It was a diving snag at second by Sam Garrity, and he tried to flip it over to Fitzgerald, who did catch it with his foot on the bag. But right as he caught it, Doctoroff ran into first, knocked it out of his glove. They are saying Doctoroff is out. But as for the runners, they're saying the play was not dead. And so both runs come in and do, in fact, count, I believe is what the call is. This is a very confusing kind of thing. I almost don't even know how to score it. I know we give Hart and Hoffman a run. I'm probably going to have to check Game Changer for that one. I feel like you got to give at least 1 RBI to Doctoroff and maybe score the second run as scoring on an error. I do not know. I'm at a bit of a loss here, but what I do know is it's 2 outs. The bases are now empty. Brookline has now got a 3-0 lead after Hart and Hoffman both score. And at the plate with now an 0-1 count is the center fielder, number 20, Harrison Siegel. Siegel fouls that one off for strike 2. And he swings and misses there, and he goes down on 3 pitches. And that is going to end the inning, but what an inning it was for Brookline. How about the bottom of the order getting it done here for the Warriors? The rally started with a 1-out single by Nate Kessler. Nico Hartdrill walked, put 2 runners on. And then Owen Hoffman hit one out to right, and while Hart was able to take care of a tough ball out and right, the Braintree right fielder had no such luck and probably lost the ball in the sun as he was trying to judge it, thinking about going for a diving catch, but because he wasn't sure and hesitated a bit, you know, he kind of stumbled and the ball skipped past him. And as a result, Hoffman not only reached safely, he got to go all the way to second as Kessler came in to score from second to put Brookline on the board. And then we had that weird hit by Doctoroff, a grounder that was snagged on a diving catch by the second baseman, but he kind of stumbled and lost the ball for a second, flipped it to first. It was barely snagged by Fitzgerald, but then it was knocked out of his glove as Doctoroff ran into first. Doctoroff was ruled out on the play, but the ball was ruled still live after it was knocked out of Fitzgerald's glove, and as a result of some heads-up base running, not only Nico Hart, but also Owen Hoffman came in to score, and so Brookline now up 3-0 as we enter the bottom of the second. Now leading off for Braintree, the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. First pitch from Engelman comes in low for ball 1. That one inside for ball 2. This one outside for ball 3. Engelman's been having some struggles finding the zone. It hasn't come back to bite him so far, but he does have to throw strikes. And this one comes in low for a 4-pitch walk to O'Rourke. Now coming up to the plate, the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. Carney, one of the few players who played in the game for Braintree last year. Carney finished 1 for 3 with a walk, a run scored, and an RBI in that last game against Brookline, and here he takes outside ball 1. O'Rourke leading off from first. That one is in there for strike 1. This one curves in low, and Carney does not bite. 2-1. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. And hard contact here. That's going to go into left for a clean single. And Braintree's got 2 runners on to start the bottom of the second. 2 on and no out. And now up comes the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes strike 1. Shows bunt again, this time lays it down up the third base line. Chased down by Engelman, thrown to first. And not in time, a bunt single for Sam Garrity, as they had Sawada covering first. I'm not sure if that might have pulled him off the bag. It was going to be a close play either way. But now bases loaded, no outs. Avery Melton comes out to the mound to talk with Engelman. And now coming up is the shortstop, number 24, Max DeRoche. First pitch outside, ball 1. Chases it low, strike 1. In there, strike 2. And tips that one stays alive at 1-2. And that one hit him, and I think, did that one hit him? Or did it? Wait, did that hit his bat? That hit his bat as he was ducking from the pitch. It went off his bat, so that counts as a foul ball. So the count remains 1-2. Skies this one deep to left center. Siegel tracking it, makes the grab. Runners tag. And a run is going to come in on the sacrifice fly. O'Rourke scores. Braintree now on the board. And they're catching the runners or something. That was weird. As I was importing things on my scoreboard, runners were starting to take off. That was strange. But either way, the sac fly from DeRoche brings in O'Rourke. Now 1 out, runners on the corners, and we cycle around to the top of the order with the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. Shows bunt, and it hits him in the head. And so that is going to reload the bases. And now out comes the coach to try and settle down his pitcher. You know, this is a situation where you can't let your control get away from you. You know, you have to keep throwing your pitches. You have to keep throwing strikes. Trust in your fielders behind you. Don't try and do everything yourself. Just don't let the ball get away from you. Bases reloaded with 1 out after the hit-by pitch from DiMartino. Now coming up is the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. First pitch, sliced foul. Lane, his last time up, he hit into that weird play that should have gone for a pop out to short, but was dropped at short. So then DiMartino is thrown out at second on what went as a fielder's choice. Obviously, in this scenario, it would be an infield fly if a similar thing happened. Did that hit him? Oh, no, another hit by pitch. And that's going to bring in a free run for Braintree. Carney trots home, and Braintree now within 1 run of Brookline, and the bases are still loaded with 1 out. And up comes the first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. First pitch is fouled off for strike 1. Fitzgerald, his last time up, he got a single and stole second, but was left stranded. And of course, we know last time against Brookline, he did hit one over the fence, and Brookline definitely doesn't want that here with the bases loaded. That hit him! A third straight hit by pitch. And Braintree ties it up. Now Garrity comes in to score. And the bases remain loaded, and we're now tied at 3 apiece. Now coming up, the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. Surrett, his last time up, he flew out to right. That one comes inside, ball 1. And hard contact up the middle. That's going to get through the gap. One run's going to come in. Another runner coming in behind him. Braintree takes the 5-3 lead off the 2-run single from Surratt. DiMartino and Lane both score on that play. Now runners at first and second, and up comes the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. First pitch in there for strike one. And that one is in the dirt, ball one. This one's popped up. It's going to stay in the infield, and it's going to be caught by Jernigan. And that's going to be the second out of the inning. So that's a big out get to try and settle your pitcher down. 2 down now. Up comes the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. Fouls this one off for strike one. O'Rourke led off this inning with a 4-pitch walk and later came in to score Braintree's first run. Braintree now up 5-3 with 2 down and runners at first and second. That one's going to miss outside, ball one. That one's going to miss as well, ball two. And that one's going to miss, ball three. And that one is in there for strike two. And this one's fouled off, and O'Rourke stays alive with a full count. Fitzgerald at second, Surratt at first, 2 down here in the bottom of the second. Full count to O'Rourke. And that one misses outside, and that's going to be ball four. Bases reloaded now. Up comes the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. First pitch, hard crack, gets past Kessler and out into left. 2 runs are going to come in as Kravitz chases it down and left. This might clear the bags, and it will. O'Rourke comes all the way around from first. It's a bases clearing double for Tim Carney. And that is going to be the end of the day for Charlie Engelman. Got out to a solid start in the first inning. Got himself out of a tough jam, but in the second inning, things just got out of control. Eight runs come in, and now taking over for Engelman will be number 23, Elias Brendel. Brendel has come in as a pinch hitter for Brookline a couple of times so far this season, now making his pitching debut in his first varsity season. A note from Adam Polgreen, the runner was out on the throw from Nate to Connor. Well, if it was from Nate to Connor, then it must have been back in the first inning, the infield single by DiMartino. Because in the bottom of in this inning, I should say, there's only been one infield hit, and that was the bunt single by Garrity. And that throw was from Engelman to Sawada. And so now Brendel finished with his warm-ups, and he takes to the hill to face the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. First pitch high and inside, ball 1. Garrity, his last time up, he reached on that bunt single and later came in to score. And this one sliced off foul for strike 1. And an attempted pickoff at second is not going to be in time as Carney dives back to the bag safely. This one sliced foul for strike 2. And he golfs this one out to center. Siegel tracking it, and he's got the grab, and that will end the inning. So Brookline's offense gets things going and gets on the board in the top half of the second. But in the bottom half of the second, Braintree's offense got going and got going even more. At the end of 2, the score, the Braintree High Womps 8, the Brookline High Warriors 3. Due up in the top of the third for Brookline will be Sawada, Kravitz, and Jernigan. This time between innings, I'm going to take a very brief break off the mic, but I'll be right back on for the third inning. Don't go away. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan for the top of the third inning of this high school varsity baseball game between visiting Brookline and hosting Braintree. And we've got a new pitcher on the mound for Braintree, number 18, Aiden Manning. So he takes over for Kerry. And Sawada slices this one foul. So both pitchers are going to leave after around 2 innings of work, as Sawada hits a grounder over to first, fielded cleanly by Fitzgerald, and he's going to take it himself for out number 1. Now coming to the plate for Brookline, the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. And that one is chopped foul for strike 1. Last time up, Kravitz hit a ground out to first. Still searching for his first hit of the year. That one curves outside for ball 1. And Kravitz hits a chopper over to third, fielded, thrown to first, and that's going to be out number 2. Two down here in the top of the third. Up comes the first baseman, number 12, Connor Jernigan. Jernigan went down on strikes his last time up. And check swing foul there for strike 1. And Jernigan gets good contact here out to left. If it stays fair, it does not. Jernigan launched that one, and I don't think the wind did him any favors on that one. I think it's ever so slightly blowing to that left side. Not sure if that caused it to go foul, but it definitely didn't help. 0-2, the count to Jernigan. And that one's in there for strike 3. That ends the top of the third inning. Brookline goes down in order. Going into the bottom of the third, the score still Braintree 8, Brookline 3. Brendel going to return to the mound. After taking over with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Due up for Braintree will be DeRoche, DiMartino, and Lane. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters. Leading off for Braintree here in the bottom of the third, the shortstop, number 24, Max DeRoche. First pitch comes in high for ball 1. And another one high for ball 2. DeRoche, his last time up, hit a sac fly to center field to drive in Braintree's first run as part of that explosive 8-run second inning as he takes high ball 3. That one's down Broadway for strike 1. That one's going to miss, ball 4. A leadoff walk for DeRoche. Puts a runner at first as we cycle around to the top of the order for the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. So far today, DiMartino has reached on an infield single and a hit by pitch. First pitch going to miss outside, and a throw back to first from Melton as DeRoche gets back in time. Now this one fouled off, and that'll be strike 1. And he slices this one. It's going to stay in the infield. Jernigan tracking it, and he's got the catch for out number 1. So now 1 out, runner at first. Up comes the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. Lane so far has hit into a fielder's choice, and he's gotten an RBI hit by pitch. Shows bunt, pulls back, it's a ball, another throw back to first, and again DeRoche retreats safely. Another one comes in high, ball 2. Runner taking off, and it's going to be fouled off by Lane for strike 1. So DeRoche has to go back to first. Counts now 2-1 to Lane. This one misses. And that's going to make it 3-1. Runner taking off, and again it's fouled off by Lane. So again, DeRoche has to go back. And now the count is full. DeRoche takes off, and it's ball 4. So the steal doesn't matter. Lane gets the free pass to first. Now coming up, first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. And that's going to be a check swing foul for Fitzgerald for strike 1. Fitzgerald, 1 for 1 so far with a single, a steal, an RBI hit by pitch, and a run scored. Takes that one high and inside for ball 1. This one is popped sky high. Might be going out of play. Melton chasing, and it's out of play. So that will be strike 2. One and 2 the count. And that one skips in the dirt. Runner's going to take off for third. And he's going to reach safely. That'll be ball 2. Two and 2. 1 out, runners at the corners. Runner takes off for second. Ball comes in outside, throw down to second. They do not get him, and the double steal is easily successful. Full count to Fitzgerald, and now Braintree leads 9-3. As DeRoche steals home, Lane steals second. 1 out, runner at second. And that comes in high for ball 4. Now coming to the plate, the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. Surrett 1 for 2 so far today with a flyout and a 2-run single and a run scored. Now up with runners at first and second and 1 out. Runner taking off for third. Pitch comes in high, gets away from the catcher, and Fitzgerald takes off. And so now runners at second and third. That one's going to come in high for ball 2. Excuse me. And that one's going to come in high for ball 3. Brookline continues to struggle finding the zone, and we got a timeout called. Visit to the mound from Coach O'Connor. Three and 0 the count to Surrett out of the timeout. And makes contact, fielded at short by Hoffman. Picks it up, quick throw, is not going to be in time. And another run is going to come in. Lane scores. Braintree now with 10 runs on the board. And runners on the corners. And now coming to the plate with runners on the corners and 1 down, the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. This one comes in high for ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 1-1, the count to Grieve. Oh, but the runner does take second. I missed that for a second. Surrett steals second. And this one is a dribbler up the third base side, juggled by Kessler. And Grieve is going to reach. In comes Fitzgerald. 11-3 now the score. Now up to the plate, third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. First and second now, with one down. Swing and a miss, strike one. O'Rourke 0 for 0 so far today with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. All of them coming in the second inning. Another swing and a miss, strike two. And Brendel steps off the rubber. And it looks like they're going to put in a pinch runner for Grieve now. Grieve seemed like he might have been holding his wrist, but I might have just been seeing things there. Either way, number 4, Matt Good, now running for Grieve. And that one is fouled off, and O'Rourke stays alive at 0-2. And that one just misses outside, ball one. And that one coming high and outside for ball two. Swing and a miss, strike three. Brendel secures his first varsity strikeout on that one. 2 down now, with runners at first and second. And up comes the right fielder, number 1, Tim Carney. Carney 2 for 2 so far today with a double, a run scored, and 3 RBI. And he takes strike one there. Carney's base clearing double was his last at bat and was also the last batter faced for Engelman before Brendel took over, as that is strike two. So Carney is going to be the last hitter that Brendel will be facing for the first time in this relief outing. This one skips low for ball one. Good, the pinch runner at first. Surrett at second. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Count is 1-2. Hard contact here, and that's through the gap into left. And the runners are going to hold. But Tim Carney secures his third hit of the day with a single. So now the first batter to face Brendel for a second time today, the second baseman, number 5, Sam Garrity. This one comes in high, ball one. And this one's going to be skied into shallow right. It's not a gimme. It's being tracked and caught by Keenan Sawada as if he was catching a punt over his shoulder like a wide receiver or something. Nice grab by the second baseman to end the inning. Braintree puts 3 more on the board. And our score at the end of 3, Braintree 11, Brookline 3. Due up for Brookline in the top of the 4th will be Brendel, Kessler, and Hart. Aiden Manning back on the mound for a second inning of relief work for Braintree after he took over in the 3rd. Interestingly enough, even though Anthony Carey was still the pitcher on record when Braintree took their lead, he will not get the win on the mound today, as a starting pitcher has to pitch at least 4 innings at the high school level before he qualifies for a pitching win. So it's just going to come down to, I think in this scenario what it says is that it becomes like the statistician's discretion of like either who pitched the most innings or who had the most impact or something like that. It's a little bit weird. But either way, coming to the plate, the pitcher, number 23, Elias Brendel. And Brendel with a hard crack of the bat over the shortstop and into left. Elias Brendel has the first base hit of his varsity career. So that, I want to say, I think was just the 3rd plate appearance this season for Elias Brendel, and he cracks a single into left center. Now at the plate, the 3rd baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. First pitch curves outside, ball 1. That one is in there for strike 1. Kessler, his last time up, he hit a single and later came in to score as part of Brookline's 3-run rally back in the top of the 2nd. Kessler hits a grounder past the pitcher over to second, picked up by Garrity, thrown to first, just barely gets him. And that will be the first out. And I think the Brookline coach wanted to ask about that call at first. I mean, I don't know. I thought he was out, personally. But again, it's not my call. It's not the coach's call. It's the official's call. Gotta respect the officials. But either way, although Kessler grounds out, he does advance Brendel into scoring position. Now at the plate, the right fielder, number 9, Nico Hart. Hart, his last time up, he drew a walk and later came in to score. Hoping to help out this rally as well. And he hits a blooper out shallow right, and it's tracked by Garrity. It was good placement. It just hung in the air a little too long. And Garrity was well placed deep in the infield to be able to track that one pretty easily. 2 down now, and up comes the shortstop, number 2, Owen Hoffman. Hoffman, his last time up, he got his first career varsity hit with an RBI double to get Brookline on the board back in the top of the second. That pitch is going to curve in low for ball 1. And this one's going to miss outside, ball 2. That one is going to miss outside, ball 3. And that one catches the corner for strike 1. Brendel at second, 2 down. And Hoffman skies this one out to right. It's going to drop foul, and the right fielder's not going to get there. That will give Hoffman a full count. Timeout called as Grieve comes out to talk to Manning. Manning steps off the rubber, trying to keep Brendel honest over at second. Now steps back in. Payoff pitch. Just catches the corner for strike 3. So Brookline leaves a runner stranded at second. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. The score still Braintree 11, Brookline 3. And it looks like we've got some substitutions coming in defensively. A couple of them, actually. I see 3 defensive subs right off the bat. 4 make it. 4 new fielders coming in for Brookline. We've got some players making their varsity debut here. So just give me a second while I pull up my full Brookline roster, which I neglected to pull up before the game started. That's on me. Here we go. First off at first base, number 16, Sam Polgreen. And then at second base, I see number 19, Ben Rosenblatt. And I saw out in center field, number 18, Alec Robin. And out in right field, number 21, Colin Gibbons. So Brookline giving a chance to some of their players off the bench. See what they've got there, as this first pitch is going to be high for ball one. Pitching to the shortstop, number 24, Max DeRoche, as he fouls off that pitch for strike one. DeRoche, of course, led off last inning. Reached on a walk and later stole home as part of a double steal. That one hits the low corner, strike two. That one's going to curve low for ball two. And pops this one over my head and out of play. And so DeRoche stays alive at 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. So Brendel opens the bottom of the fourth inning with a strikeout. Now back to the top of the order with the center fielder, number 23, Charlie DiMartino. Last time up, DiMartino popped out to first. And he takes the first pitch in the dirt, ball one. DiMartino so far 1 for 1 today with a hit by pitch and a run scored. Or no, not 1 for 1, 1 for 2, excuse me. I just said he popped out first his last time up. Now fouls that one off. That'll be strike one. Hard crack, fielded well by Polgreen, and he is going to tag first for the second out of the inning. And the Brookline dugout is loving it. They love getting to see one of their seniors get a chance at playing time and make a nice play in the field. Now at the plate, the left fielder, number 8, Perry Lane. That first pitch is going to miss outside, ball one. This one going to skip in the dirt for ball two. Important to note that 3 of the 4 defensive substitutions made in this inning, Polgreen, Gibbons, and Robin, all seniors. As this one misses high for ball 3. So nice that some of the Brookline members of the class of 2023 getting a chance to play here. That one's in there for strike one. That one's going to miss for ball four. So Lane draws a free pass. And now with a runner on first and two down, up comes the first baseman, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. This one is skied high and deep to center. Robin and Gibbons both tracking it, and Gibbons makes the grab out and right. And that is going to end the inning. So a couple of the senior subs make some plays in the field. Braintree comes away with no score. But after four, the score is Braintree 11, Brookline 3. So at this fourth inning intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry saw a huge increase in demand for food assistance at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that number has remained steadily high ever since. The food pantry has been serving an average of 650 households each week, more than 4 times the rate of families served pre-COVID. Brookline Food Pantry is fighting the good fight against hunger in our community, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish Church at 210 Harvard Street in Brookline on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the food pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. Go online to brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can help feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And as always, you can find all that information, website, and phone number about the Brookline Food Pantry down in the description section down below. So leading off for Brookline here, the designated hitter, number 8, Ben Doctoroff. First pitch is fouled off for strike one. So I think we're going to see a couple of pinch hitters here, because after this we cycle around to the top of the order for a couple of guys that got subbed out last inning. Harrison Siegel would normally be on deck, but he was subbed out in center field for Alec Robin. And then Keenan Sawada would have been next, but he got subbed out at second for Ben Rosenblatt, as that is going to be strike two. But for now, it is Doctoroff at the plate. Doctoroff hits a hard grounder, but fielded well at third and thrown over to first for out number 1. O'Rourke took care of business on that play. It was solid contact by Doctoroff, but just the perfectly wrong place to put that grounder. Now, coming up to the plate for his first varsity plate appearance, the center fielder, number 18, Alec Robin. First pitch going to come in high for ball 1. Robin's been used as a pinch runner in a couple situations for Brookline this season. Even came up with a nice sort of double steal off of a throwing error against Framingham to score a run as that pitch comes in the dirt for ball 2. But this will be his first time stepping into the batter's box here in a varsity game. That pitch going to be in there for strike 1. That one's going to miss outside, ball 3. And Robin's going to foul this one off for strike 2. And now fouls one up the third base side. Robin stays alive at 3-2. And another foul off. Robin continuing to battle here in the top of the 5th with 1 out. And Robin slices this one. It's going to be foul, and Fitzgerald can't get there in time. And the at-bat continues. And Robin swings again. This one is going to be in play. Pitcher's under it, and he grabs it for out number 2. So Robin with an admirable fight at the plate, but ultimately ends in a pop out to the pitcher. Now with 2 down and the base is empty, up comes the second baseman, number 19, Ben Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt, the only non-senior to sub in last inning as he takes low and away ball 1. Rosenblatt, a junior, as he took over at second base for Sawada and takes high ball 2. That one's going to miss outside for ball 3. And that one in there, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Caught him chasing low that time, and now a full count to Rosenblatt. And makes good contact. That's going to drop in center for a base hit. Ben Rosenblatt, with his first varsity at bat, he registers a clean base hit to center. Now coming up, the left fielder, number 3, Ryan Kravitz. This one skips in the dirt for ball 1. Rosenblatt dancing off the bag at first. Kravitz, so far today, he is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. As he takes this one high for ball 2. This one's going to come in high for ball 3. That one catches the corner for strike 1. And Kravitz hits a grounder over to short. It goes off the shortstop's glove. And Kravitz reaches on the E6. So 2 runners on for Brookline. And now we've got another one of the subs coming in. Batting now, the first baseman, number 16, Sam Polgreen. First pitch catches the corner, strike 1. Polgreen taking over for Jernigan at first. He has now got his first varsity plate appearance here. 2 down runners at first and second. And he makes contact, and that's going to go up the third base side foul. It's Polgreen in the hole early at 0-2. That one catches the corner, and that's going to be strike 3. Polgreen thought it was outside, but the ump said it was in the zone. So Brookline leaves a pair of runners stranded. No score in the top of the 5th. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The score still Braintree 11, Brookline 3. Elias Brendel returning to the hill for another inning of relief work. Brendel took over with 2 outs in the second inning, so he has pitched thus far 2 1/3 innings. He's allowed 3 runs. You know, I'll have to go back and look at the box score to see how many of them earned. You know, given that that's going to depend on like some error rulings and stuff. But for now, we're ready to go in the bottom of the 5th. And leading off will be the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. And that first one just barely missed him. That'll be ball 1. It's almost a leadoff hit by pitch there. And this one fouled off for strike 1. It's important to note the mercy rule in high school baseball is that if a team leads by 10 runs or more by the bottom of the 5th inning. As Surratt skies this one out to left, and Kravitz chasing it, and he's not going to get it because it's over the fence, and Surratt is going to trot his way around with a leadoff solo shot to left. So as I was saying, and it's now even more important now, if Braintree takes a 10-run lead in this inning, which means if they score one more run, the game is over. Because if a team leads by 10 or more after 5 innings, then the game is over. And since this is the bottom half of the 5th, the game would just stop. First pitch is in there for a strike. At the plate is the catcher, number 27, Cam Grieve. And that one is dropped right in front of the plate. And it's scooped up and thrown to first. I think Grieve thought for sure they were going to blow that dead and say he fouled it off his foot or something. But they did not. Simply going to rule that a 2-3 ground out. So one down now. And I think we've actually got a pinch hitter here. I don't think that's O'Rourke at the plate, as that ball comes in high for ball 1. Just give me a second while I try and figure this one out. This one comes in low and away for ball 2. I think this is number 10, Derek Foley, but I'm not sure. It is Foley, and he is going to lift it out to left. Kravitz tracks it and has it for out number 2. So Foley was batting in place of O'Rourke, and he flies out to left. Now this first pitch is fouled off, and that's going to be strike 1. And I think this is another pinch hitter. It is number 11, Jake Joyce. As Joyce will be swinging and missing at strike 2. He is batting in place of Tim Carney. That one's going to miss, ball 1. Almost kind of lucky there, as that one just went right through Melton's glove all the way to the backstop. If that had been strike 3, Joyce would have had a chance to sprint for first. That one's going to be inside, ball 2. And hits a chopper foul up the third base side, and Joyce stays alive at 2-2. And this one is sliced foul. It might stay in play. Melton's chasing, and he's got it. Melton snags it for out number 3. Good tracking in foul territory, and so this game is not going to end after 5 innings. We are going to have a 6th. The score after 5, Braintree 12, Brookline 3. So Surratt's dinger gets Braintree within 1 run of the mercy rule win, but they cannot get that 13th run. And so we do go into the 6th inning. Due up will be Brendel, Kessler, and Gibbons. And we've got a new pitcher on the mound for Braintree, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. Takes over for Aiden Manning on the hill. And then we've got at first base, number 7, Ryan Janig. We probably got a host of other defensive substitutions given the pinch hitters that we saw in the bottom of the 5th. But, you know, we'll just follow this as we go. Leading off for Brookline here is going to be the pitcher, number 23, Elias Brendel. Brendel got a single his last time up, but was left stranded at second. First pitch misses, ball 1. Brendel skies this one. Looks like it's going to be in foul territory, and the shortstop chased it down. Looked like the third baseman completely lost sight of it and figured it might drop harmlessly for a foul, but it is going to be caught for out number 1. Now up, the third baseman, number 11, Nate Kessler. And Kessler skies the first pitch into foul territory, and again, they're trying to chase after it. And they could not track it down. That will fall for a foul ball. The sunset is shining right into the face of some of the fielders coming from behind that third base side. Really behind the plate, but more towards third. And that's going to be strike 2 to Kessler. Kessler, his last time up, he grounded out. He is 1 for 2 so far today. That one misses, ball 1. That one's going to miss, ball 2. And that's a hard crack from Kessler, but it's right at third, picked up and thrown to first, and that's going to be out number 2. And now, making his first varsity plate appearance, the right fielder, number 21, Colin Gibbons. First pitch swung on and missed, strike one. This one comes in low, ball one. So Gibbons, the last of those forced substitutions from a couple innings back, to get his turn at the plate. Swung on and missed, strike two. And that one is going to miss outside, ball two. Swung on and missed, strike three. Gibbons goes down swinging, and that is going to end the top of the sixth inning. So now we move to the bottom of the sixth. The score is still Braintree 12, Brookline 3. So normally due up are Garrity, DeRoche, and DiMartino, but I don't know if we're going to see any more substitution pinch hitters here for the Womps. Brendel back on the hill for another inning of relief work. You know, give the man some credit. This was a tough game to come into. You know, had a tough first full inning back in the third. But he's settled down, and aside from that one big swing from Surrett, Brendel's put in a solid performance here in relief these past couple innings. So we do have a new hitter for Braintree. This is number 15, Nick Rucky. He bats in place of Garrity. And first pitch is a grounder over to third, fielded by Kessler, thrown to first in time for out number one. One down, and up comes another new hitter, number 13, Cal Juhas, batting in place of DeRoche. And Juhas skies it out to left, and it drops foul. And that one is going to miss, ball one. Hard crack from Juhas over the outstretched glove of Hoffman into left for a clean single. Now we've got another new hitter, number 19, Jack Titley. He bats in place of DiMartino, and he skies this one foul and out of play. One out, runner at first. Again, if one run comes home for Braintree, this game is over. And this one is also going to be sliced foul and out of play. One and two, the count. That one's going to come in high for ball two. That one's going to miss outside. Count is now full. And that comes in high, and oh, you know what? You know what I think happened? I think I forgot to delete the ball off the count from Juhas's at bat, so I gave an extra ball to Titley that he didn't have. So now he's got three balls. So now it's a full count. That one is going to miss though, and now it is ball four. Two runners on, one out. Another new batter. Batting in place of Lane is number 26, Ricky Dever. First pitch comes in high, ball one. And he skies this one out to left. Kravitz tracking it, and he's got the catch for out number two. And so now the only one that wasn't subbed out, but is now the pitcher, number 14, Jack Fitzgerald. First pitch misses, ball one. Fitzgerald's last time up. He flew out to right to end the bottom of the fourth. Now slices this one foul for strike one. Before that flyout, he drew a walk and later scored in the bottom of the third. And before that, he got a bases loaded hit by pitch and later scored in the second. And then before that, he had a single in the first. Takes that one inside, ball two. So he's 1 for 2 so far, with a walk, a hit by pitch, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. That one's going to come in high for ball three. Three and one the count, 2 down, runners at first and second. And that's going to miss for ball four. Fitzgerald draws his third free pass of the day. Bases are now loaded with 2 outs, and up comes the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surrett. And a meeting at the mound coming up. And this might be the end of the day for Brendel. It looks like it is. It looks like they're going to bring in a new pitcher. It looks like they're going to bring in Owen Hoffman. So Brendel's day ends 1 out short of finishing his job there, and instead Hoffman takes over on the mound, and James Dialchand Erickson subs in at short, taking Hoffman's spot. Now again, one more run and this ball game just ends right away. One more out and we go to the top of the 7th. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. So this next at bat with a new pitcher is going to decide whether or not this game continues. Hoffman's pitching stats so far this season, he's made 1 relief appearance through 2 innings against Newton South. In relief, gave up 2 earned runs, leaving him with an ERA of 7, and he got 3 strikeouts. Warm-ups are done. Now stepping into the box, the designated hitter, number 2, Dan Surratt. First pitch, and it's sent out to left. This game is over. The runner comes in, and that is your ball game. Dan Surratt knocks in run number 13. And that triggers the mercy rule as Juhas comes in to score the game-ending run. The final score in 6 innings, the Braintree Womps 13, the Brookline Warriors 3. Quickly recapping this contest. In the top of the first, Brookline managed to get a runner to third, but left him stranded. In the bottom of the first, Braintree put runners on second and third, but could not score. In the top of the second, Brookline actually got the scoring started first. A 1-out single from Nate Kessler, followed by a walk from Nico Hart, and then an RBI double from Owen Hoffman for his first varsity hit. That drove in Kessler and put runners at second and third, and then Ben Doctoroff hit that weird ground out to second that resulted in 1 run scoring naturally and then 1 scoring because the ball got knocked out of the first baseman's glove in the collision at first base. So 2 runs came in, and Brookline ended up taking a 3-0 lead. But that was as much as the Brookline offense could muster for the rest of the game, and from there it was all Braintree. In the bottom of the second, a nightmarish inning, walk, single, bunt single, sac fly, hit by pitch, hit by pitch, hit by pitch, 2-run single, pop out, walk, bases clearing double, and then a fly out. That explosive second inning gave Braintree an 8-3 lead, a lead they would never relinquish. In the top of the third, Brookline went down in order. In the bottom of the third, Braintree got back to work. Walk, pop out to first, walk, double steal to bring in the first run. Another walk. Then either an infield single or a reach on an E6 brings in another run. Then a reach on an E5 brings in another run, and Braintree went up 11-3 at the end of 3. Brookline went down, Brookline got a runner to second in the top of the 4th as Elias Brendel collected his first varsity hit, but nothing further. In the bottom of the 4th, Braintree got one runner on a 2-out walk, but nothing further. Top of the 5th, Ben Rosenblatt got his first varsity hit and advanced to second after Ryan Kravitz reached on an E6, but no further. Bottom of the 5th, Dan Surrett led off with a homer to left that made it 12-3, but after that dinger, the batters went down in order. Brookline's hitters went down in order in the top of the 6th, and then in the bottom of the 6th, a 2-out bases-loaded single